welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do a slightly different video talking about cystitis and all the things you can do to help symptoms and what it is and how it's caused and just my experiences with cystitis. I wasn't too sure if to do this video, but then I was kind of thinking, when I suffered with it, and obviously when I do suffer, I wish I had in the beginning some knowledge of it, and I wish I had someone that I knew that suffered from it that could tell me all the little tricks to do and all the little bits to do and don't, basically. So I thought it might help some of you guys out there. Hopefully it helps you and helps you deal with it and the ways you can prevent it, and I hope you enjoy the video and you get something out of it, basically. So let's get on with the video. So firstly, what is cystitis? So cystitis can be known as a few things. It can be known as a UTI, could be known as a urinary tract infection, could be known as bladder infection. It comes under quite a few names, but cystitis is the name obviously I know it by mostly, and obviously when you get treatments it's normally known as cystitis treatments. Cystitis is a infection in the bladder. It can be caused by a number of different things really, which we will get into. The symptoms I get from cystitis can be anything from it feels like a weight is in your bladder, so you'll feel like you need to go to the toilet all the time, and when you go to the toilet it'll be such a small amount that actually passes through you, but it will constantly feel like you have kind of a weight in your bladder. That's the easiest way I kind of explain it to people. It could be that when you actually pass urine, when you go to the toilet, it stings or it is quite uncomfortable, and when you've been to the toilet and then you get off and obviously try and get on with your day, it'll feel like you instantly need to go back onto the toilet again. Some people feel like just sitting on the toilet for hours. So the different causes of cystitis, there is so many, so again I'm just gonna reel some off to the best of my knowledge. Obviously I'm not a doctor, I'm not a GP, I'm not trained, I'm just going off my experiences, and anyone that I now know that's got it has kind of suffered and told me what causes theirs. I think the main couple, it can be certain foods or certain drinks, which again I know is really hard to kind of pin it down to a certain drink or a certain food, but you kind of just clock onto it. So for me, I know if I drink either lemonade or Coke, or even if I have a lot of citrus foods, for some bizarre reason, give it 1 or 2 days and I will have cystitis and I will have a urine infection. It just seems to be one of those things. I haven't really noticed it with anything else, but citrus for me and kind of lemonade are kind of the devils, and I steer away from them. Obviously it depends what doses you have it in, because tomatoes for me, I can eat them. It will just be the one occasion that they do bring one on. Again, I might be completely wrong, I might just be blaming it down to kind of citrus foods, but for me that's what it is. A lot of the time for people it can be after they've had sex. It could be because it's thrown their pH balance out of whack, basically. A lot of the trends will be if someone's had sex and then a few days later they will get a urine infection, UTIs come through. What other ways? Baths can bring them on quite a lot. If you put a lot of soap and a lot of bath bombs, bath salts, again that can irritate your bladder and bring a urine infection on. Most comfortable position for them, because you're constantly letting it pass through. You'll feel quite tired, quite run down. My skin actually breaks out quite a lot when I have a cystitis or a urine infection. So yeah, the heaviness in the bladder, needing to go to the toilet quite a lot, the stinging, the kind of burning sensation when actually passing urine and going to the toilet. As I said, feel genuinely run down. I will normally know when I'm getting a urine infection because I'll feel off the kind of 2 days prior to it, to getting one come through. I'll just genuinely feel a bit meh, and I'll normally get quite bloated around that time. So it's just not a comfortable feeling, because you'll be out and about and you just feel like you can't leave the toilet, or you'll be shopping or whatever, you're going out on a day out and you're constantly thinking, right, I need to know where the toilets are because I feel like I need to go constantly. It's not a nice feeling at all, and if you haven't suffered from one, it's not always easy for people to understand what it is and what the feeling's like, because it's not I wouldn't say it's necessarily painful, it's just constantly uncomfortable and you'll constantly have it in the back of your mind. So yeah, that's cystitis for me. Obviously it varies massively for people what they suffer with. Some people suffer more than others. You can get reoccurring cystitis. Obviously I'll go into medication and what you can do anyway, but there is kind of a few different levels. You can get cystitis. Obviously cystitis and urine infections can actually cause kidney infections where the kind of infection goes a bit higher. That's when you would normally need to switch over to a course of antibiotics. There is other little tweaks as well. Apparently if you don't wear cotton underwear, again it can change your pH balance down there, and again can bring cystitis on. There is so many other different ways. Sometimes I don't have to do anything and it's nothing I notice that I've changed or eaten or done or baths or anything, and I will just naturally get one, which is a massive pain because I would rather have a reason and something I can kind of steer clear of, to kind of know why I'm getting one. So that can be quite frustrating, but as I said, you can get reoccurring cystitis, UTIs, urine infections, whatever you want to call them. So preventions for me personally would be wear cotton underwear. I do not wear, is it polyester, like the Primark, you know, the pack of 3 for like £3, the kind of polyester feel. I do not wear them anymore. I always wear cotton underwear. I drink water every single day because it always flushes you through. Don't get dehydrated because again that can bring one on. I'm really good with my baths, what I put in my baths. I don't use certain products that I know can irritate me. Again, as I mentioned, I don't drink lemonade, and I watch what I eat because I know, I was going to hiccup then. I know what can bring them on, and obviously, and I know what can keep them away. Unfortunately, if you do get cystitis, I know it's not the greatest news, but you probably will get another one in your lifetime. Some people just get them more than others, unfortunately. I just wanted to make a note as well, I am having a no makeup day. I have filled in my eyebrows, but if I'm looking a bit pale or a bit run down, it's just my face. So I want to go through some of the ways I deal with urine infections and how I deal with like pain management and everything whilst I've got one. So the big one for me is cystitis sachets, which I've actually got some here. These are really not expensive at all. I think you can get a pack of, it's like a 3-day course basically, because apparently most cystitis or urine infections, if they last more than 2 to 3 days, that's when you'd have to then go to your doctor after, because they shouldn't be any longer than about a 3-day course basically. So I take these, which are just cystitis relief. I get these from Tesco's or Sainsbury's, and honestly a 3-day course I think is about £150, £160 roughly. With these you are supposed to take 3 a day. I think you're supposed to have 4 hours in between, and that's a 3-day course, so 3 days for 3 days basically. You're normally supposed to put on here, it says dissolve the contents of each sachet into a 200ml glass of water. For me personally, I cannot stand the taste of these, so that just does not work for me. So again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not advising you to do this, but what I do is I get 2 glasses. In one glass I'll have 200ml of water, and in the other one I'll just have a small amount of water in that glass. I will tip the sachet in the little glass and I'll stir it a bit like a little shot basically next to my big glass. Once it's all dissolved in a tiny amount of water, I will literally shot that, hold my nose, shot it, get rid of it, and then I will down the 200ml water, because obviously it's just water, it doesn't taste like anything. So that's personally how I take them. Again, some people do just put it in 200ml of water. I do actually have a friend that can stand the taste, but for me personally, I just can't. It smells like cranberries, but it tastes so salty. It's actually making me saliva now thinking about it. But yeah, they're just not nice at all. So that's how I do it personally. The other big thing I do straight away is obviously take some painkiller, so paracetamol or ibuprofen. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Ibuprofen. We'll go with that. I normally take these, again, I'll normally take them with a sachet, so normally you kind of 4 hours each sachet you take. I normally take 2 paracetamol or 2 painkiller with them. I try to get these in straight away because it just gets rid of that kind of achy feeling, kind of helps it a little bit. Again, it won't get rid of all the discomfort because it's not necessarily a pain, but it does ease it off a little bit for me. The next big thing for me is I find personally any kind of heat, whether that's bath or hot water bottle or heat pads, to be an absolute godsend. They have changed the game for me completely because they're just amazing. If you've got a heat pad and you do get one whilst you're out, because you won't always know, you'll think, you'll wake up in the morning and you'll be absolutely fine, feel great, and then you'll just get one instantly. I remember I had a work do up in London, felt absolutely fine, lovely day. It hit lunch, I went to the toilet and the pain just hit me like a train. And I think times like that, it's really hard if you haven't got a sachet with you or ibuprofen with you or any kind of painkiller. People don't understand the pain. It's not like painful, it's just uncomfortable. So you could be sitting there just thinking about the toilet, oh, I need to go to the toilet, I need to go to the toilet, and people just don't understand. So I think these firstly are amazing. Now I found out about these, I will never go back. Obviously you've got your traditional hot water bottle that you can use, but again, if you don't know you're going to get one come on, you can't lug a big hot water bottle around with you. But again, this is a lifesaver if I'm at home, if I'm off of work, because obviously it's too painful, etc, etc. First thing I'll do is get a hot water bottle and just lay it on my lower belly where the pain is normally. But if I am out and about, I will go for a heat pad. These are actually really, really good. These are only from Poundland for a pack of 3. So again, they're inexpensive. They're not going to cost you a fortune. And they last 8 hours. So you kind of just open it. I think when it reacts with the air, I think it was. I don't think you need to do anything else. What does it say? I think that's what I said. Yeah, so literally as soon as you open it, it reacts because you've taken it out kind of the vacuum packed. With these, the only thing you can't do is put it on direct skin. So you have to put it like on your t-shirt or on your jumper or on like your knicker line, like on them basically. You just can't have it stuck to your skin. I'm not 100% sure why. I don't know if they can burn you, but again, they're really, really good. Again, especially if you've got it on like a vest top under your jumper, you can stick it to your vest top, put your jumper over it, and then you're good to go. And heat for me personally really, really, really does help massively. And obviously if I am at home or if I'm in a hotel or whatever, if I do have access to a bath, I will go and sit in the bath, because again, it's another way of obviously kind of a hot water bottle or whatnot. I don't put anything in my bath because again, soaps and bath bombs and body wash and everything else can really, really trigger it and make it worse. So I know it sounds really stupid. I will just sit in a bathtub full of plain water, and I do sit in there for kind of a couple of hours until it kind of subsides. I will normally do that if I've taken a sachet and some paracetamol. I'll normally get in a hot bath, you know, put my iPad up, watching Netflix, whatever, and the time they've kicked in, I can get out of the bath and kind of get on with my day. Again, I know that's not the most practical way, but if I'm at home like a day like today, I can just do that. But if I'm out and about, I'd normally go for these. And then the last thing which you have to do, you need to flush the infection out, which people don't always realise. You have to drink loads of this. I know water's not the most exciting thing in the world, so even if you get really, really plain flavoured water, that doesn't seem to trigger mine anymore. Obviously each person's different, so I normally stick to plain water, but if you really, really can't stomach plain water and you just don't feel great if you drink it, you can have really, really slight flavoured water, not squash. You know, you can get the big bottles. Are they Volvic? I don't know if they're Volvic, but like the strawberry or whatever they are. Try and steer away from citrus, so don't get the lemon or the lemon and lime. Try and get the more kind of fruits or strawberry. Again, personal preference. Obviously if it doesn't work for you, stick to plain water. And as I mentioned, normally if your cystitis has gone on for 3 days, they're very painful, you're feeling very unwell, you do have to go to your GP. They normally prescribe you a 2-week course of antibiotics. I don't actually know the name, but I know it's a 2-week course and you have to even when it's gone, you have to carry that course on, because that'll be the course you have to use next time, and it'll be ineffective if you haven't carried the course on, blah blah blah. I'm not a GP, I'm not a doctor, I don't know the ins and outs. If you reoccur, if they keep reoccurring, you keep getting them again and again, I think you have to have 6 within either 6 months or 6 within a year. Go back to your GP, make a diary is what I would say. If you're suffering more and you're noticing them coming back again and again and again, and you tried avoiding things and nothing else is working, make a diary for 6 months. I remember when I went to the doctor, the first thing she said to me was, you need to make a diary. I need to have proof that you've had them like more than 6 in the 6 months, or whatever it was, I can't remember now. Because obviously every time you have one, you're not necessarily going to ring the doctors, you're just going to do your own home stuff like your cystitis sachets, your water, etc. But if they are reoccurring, just make a diary, go to the doctors, just say, right, I've had so many, I've had 6 in 6 months, or whatever it is. This could be a reoccurring cystitis, urine infection, whatever you want to call it, and you might be given an ongoing dose of antibiotics, or you might even be given a standby antibiotic, which will mean you won't have to go and see your GP every time you get cystitis or a urine infection or a kidney infection. You'll just be able to go, like, it's like an ongoing prescription. I don't actually know the term for it, but you can literally go to your nearest pharmacy and they will just give you a course straight away. It kind of cuts out going to the GP and back and forth. Again, there is a difference between a urine infection, cystitis, and a kidney infection. Kidney infection, obviously symptoms are slightly different. So with a kidney infection, it's the same bacteria, E. coli I think it is. It's when it actually reaches your kidney from your bladder. You'll get the exact same symptoms as what you would a UTI. The other one I didn't mention actually is like a really strong smell in your urine, or if your urine's slightly cloudy, that's your first indication that a urine infection will come on. That's one of my first ones actually. In regards to feeling unwell, if my urine smells a bit different, I know it's gross, smells a bit different, or if it's slightly cloudy, I will normally get a cystitis sachet in me straight away, because I know from the past that's me getting one. But in regards to a kidney infection, if you get a kidney infection, you'll get more pain in your side where your kidneys are, which is it your right side or your left side, whatever side it is. You'll get a pain near your kidneys. You'll get all the symptoms of a urine infection, but with a kidney infection you will need to go to your GP straight away, or you'll need to go into a walk-in clinic and just say you feel you have got a kidney infection, or you started with UTI and it's gone up to your kidneys, and they will probably see you straight away and they'll probably give you a course straight away just to get rid of that. Sometimes I've known from friends of mine that have got kidney infections, if you go to a walk-in clinic, they might actually even get you on a drip for a short period of time, kind of a half an hour to an hour. Again, I haven't experienced that, so I can't say that's always the case, but sometimes if it does go to your kidneys, they will put you on a drip if you're dehydrated, etc, etc. So they are kind of the different levels, the symptoms, and what to do if you get them. Obviously, everyone's experience with cystitis is completely different. It's normal to get cystitis. My nurse actually told me that once you've had it, unfortunately, you probably are going to get it again and again. But some people, it could be that they get it once in every year or once in every 2 years. Unfortunately for me personally, I do get them quite often. But as time goes on, I just find my only little do's and don'ts of what to do and how to deal with it. Obviously everyone's different, so I'm only giving you my experience, but I hope if you suffer with them that this is a little bit helpful. If you've had something and you wasn't too sure what it was and you're getting these symptoms, you probably have got cystitis, unfortunately. So that obviously there is different levels. You've got cystitis, you've got kidney infections, and you've got UTIs. It is actually a bit later in the day, but I completely forgot 2 big things out of this video. When I was editing, I was like, oh god, I've forgotten them. So, cranberry juice, completely forgot to mention it. It is amazing. With another thing with the sachets, if you don't want to put it in water because you will still be able to taste it, do a little bit of tiny cranberry juice in the bottom, put your sachet in, mix that up, and then have your pint of water next to you. So you can shot the cranberry juice and the sachet and then down the water. Also cranberry juice, I don't think it's been medically like proved or approved or whatever to help, but for me personally it actually does. It just breaks water up from having water every single day. I have a bit of cranberry juice. I do have the no added sugar one because again, sugars and caffeine can really irritate your urine infection when you have one. Steer clear of any kind of tea or coffee. Fizzy drinks are a no-go, and also really high sugared products. So I try and take loads of kind of sugar-free drinks if I can. So sugar-free cranberry and my water are my top two. The other thing I've recently been trying is the cranberry prevention tablets you can now buy. They are quite pricey, and again, for something that's not definite to work, they are quite pricey. I think a month's course or a 2-week course sits at about £30 in Boots or Superdrug. I can't remember what I went to now. So I just want to add this in because I completely forgot, and when going back and editing I realised I didn't add this in. I just wanted to add that I noticed this little guy was in the video the whole time I've just filmed about cystitis and what to do. This is Spencer, so we thought we'd just get him in the vlog really quickly. Hello Spencer!